Mesopotamia is a Greek word that means between the rivers, specifically the area between the Tigris and Euphrates River in the present-day Iraq. Its peoples were the first to irrigate fields and devise a system of writing, developed mathematics, and invented the wheel and learned to work with metal. Over the centuries, many different people live in this area, creating a collection of independent states. Their agriculture, they use irrigation to grow crops. This led to other professions such as potters, weavers, metal workers, warriors, and priests. Their government, at first, each city or city-state had its own ruler. There, several city-states were united under one ruler. Rulers were often priests. This type of government is called a theocracy. In their religion, they were polytheistic, or many gods, and worshipped as many 2,000 different gods. Mesopotamia has various and different contributions, such as architecture, stone and mud buildings such as the ziggurat and hanging gardens, invented the wheel, the sailboat, irrigation, made tools and weapons out of copper and bronze, invented the calendar, and developed a legal system called Code of Hammurabi. Before writing came numbers, Sumerians counting tokens contained in a clay envelope, and it is probably used to count items such as livestock, crops, or quantities of land. Around 3000 BC, Mesopotamians moved from using counting tokens to using pictograms to record more complex economic data. Pictograms are symbolic, abstract representation of actual objects. It is also used to communicate basic information about crops and taxes. The first pictograms were drawn in a vertical columns with a pen made from a sharpened reed. Writing began with economic transactions. This tablet is one of the earliest on record. It describes the transfer of 300 acres of land between the two parties. As the city-states of Sumer grew in size, an increasingly complex structure called for more sophisticated techniques to record and store accounts of economic transactions. Early pictograms resemble the objects they represented, but through repeated use over time, they began to look simpler and even abstract. These marks eventually became wedge-shaped or cuneiform and could convey sounds or abstract concepts. Two things happened that revolutionized writing, moving it from pictograms to cuneiform. People began to write in horizontal rows, and a new type of pen was used called the stylus, which was pushed into the clay, producing wedge-shaped signs that are known as cuneiform writing. In cuneiform using the stylus, scribes created wheat shape, which made cuneiform signs by pressing the stylus into clay or wax surface. Over 1,000 years, Mesopotamian scribes recorded daily events, trade, astronomy, and literacy on a clay tablets. Cuneiform is a general word like alphabet used to describe a kind of writing. In fact, cuneiform came from Latin cuneus, which means wedge. Therefore, any script can be called cuneiform as long as individual signs are composed of wedges. Sumerians created cuneiform script over 5,000 years ago. It was the world's first written language. The last known cuneiform inscription was written in 75 AD. Cuneiform was adopted by the Akkadians, Babylonians, Sumerians, and Assyrians to write their own languages and was used in Mesopotamia for about 3,000 years. Clay tablets were the primary media for everyday written communication and were used extensively in schools. Tablets were routinely recycled and their permanence was called for the could be baked, hand, and both. Many of the tablets found by the archaeologists were preserved because they were baked when attacking armies, were in the building in which they were kept. Tablet is called a lentil or bud because this shaped hat fits naturally into the palm of the hand. There are 4 rows of signs on the front of the tablet. The teacher inscribed the signs in rows 1 and 2. Then the student took the soft tablet and copied the text into the rows 3 and 4. Knowledge of cuneiform was led until 1855 when Henry Robinson, an English army officer, found some inscriptions on a cliff at Behestan in Persia. Carved in the reign of King Darius of Persia in 522 to 486 BC, they consisted of identical texts in 3 languages: Old Persian, Babylonian, and Elamite. After translating the Persian, Rawlinson began to decipher the others. By 1851, he could read 200 Babylonian signs. Sexagesimal system or fractions of base 60 is a numeral system with a 60 as the base. It is originated with the ancient Sumerians in the 2000s BC, and it was transmitted to the Babylonians and is still used in worksite foreign languages for measuring angles and geographic coordinates. It is possible to count to 12 with your thumb acting as a pointer and touching each finger bone and turn. In this system, the right hand counts repeatedly to 12, which is called dozen, and the left hand counts the number of iterations until 5 dozen. So, for example, we will count 1 to 12, or right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 dozen. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2 dozens. So until 5 dozens. So this gives 60 as a full range. So that is what we call the sexagesimal system or fractions of base 60.